We mentioned Prospect Hill in Sioux City a lot because one of our weather cameras sits high atop the hill that overlooks the Veterans Memorial Bridge.
But, few people know the significance of Prospect Hill. In tonight's edition of We the People, KTV's Larry Wentz takes us back to 1869 and a gathering of 3 Presbyterian missionaries who vowed to win the West for Christ.
Every day, thousands of people drive by this big hill in Sioux City, a hill that provides a spectacular view of the tri-state area. But few know that what's called Prospect Hill played a prominent role in the city's history and the settling of the American West.
There's been a lot of erosion here on Prospect Hill, but at one point it was much deeper, almost out towards the interstate, and much higher, about 60 feet higher. And in fact, at one point there was a street and houses in this open area.
Something like 20 houses have been lost due to erosion.
Tom Munson of the Sioux City Public Museum says the erosion has made it almost impossible to see this monument erected in 1913.
This monument does get kind of lost.
It honors 3 Presbyterian missionaries who gathered here in 1869, following a nearby prayer meeting, making a pledge remembered to this day.
We are going to go out and win the West for Christ.
Sheldon Jackson, T.H. Cleland, and J.C. Elliott. As with many settlers, the trio used Sioux City as a jumping-off point for heading west. But Prospect Hill has an earlier story as a gathering spot for the community's earliest celebrations.
Sioux City's first 4th of July, our first Independence Day celebration, was held up on the top of this hill.
It was also the site of a beer garden in the late 1860s.
The Doss and Gertz, they had a saloon here in town. They would roll their kegs up the hill, and the citizens of Sioux City would enjoy a warm one overlooking the Missouri River and, well, what would become Nebraska.
Legend has it that a trapper named Joseph Lyonnaise was quite inebriated following a celebration, and he and his horse actually went off the edge of Prospect Hill. Now, they say that he was saved by a mulberry bush. I'm not so sure what happened to the horse.
As for the trio of missionaries, Jackson eventually ended up in Alaska, helping create a formal government and build schools. Cleland started numerous churches in Nebraska. And besides his work with the church, Elliott also became one of the first regents at the University of Nebraska. And this marker honoring Jackson, Cleland, and Elliott is among roughly 400 Presbyterian landmarks across North America.
And in the 1990s, this particular marker was recognized by the Presbyterian Church in the United States as one of these significant national Presbyterian landmarks.
Larry Wentz, KTIV News 4.